After a pretty good critical reaction and a mixed fan reaction, and this is an odd one because they don't hate it, they're just not watching it, it's time for Rogue One's Rogue Captain. It's the final episode of Andor Season 1, the Rix Road, so if you haven't seen it, this will contain spoilers. And I'm only going to be talking about this episode. I'm going to do a video about the rest of the season, so make sure you're liked and subscribed so you don't miss it. So the ISB is set a trap, Bix is still a prisoner, and Deirdre arrives on Ferrix along with Lucian, and it all feels everything's about to bubble over in this episode. All the pieces are in place, all the players are in the same location, and man, this is the Star Wars show that I've been waiting for. I know a lot of people are saying that, and if you don't like the show or you haven't watched it, that's perfectly fine, but yeah, definitely check it out if you haven't watched it. And we don't really check in with Cassian for the first 10 minutes, but we do get more flashbacks with his adopted father. And although it was sort of explained earlier on in the season, we need to find out what happened to his sister and the rest of those kids. I think there's more of that to come in Season 2, but as always, we're going to need to wait and see. But yeah, it felt a bit late to be adding these flashbacks in for me. I know we've been getting them all season and a second season's on its way, but we didn't really get any all the way through the prison arc, and for me, this didn't really add anything to the story. But anyway, once he's back home, he finds out about Bix, and we see him reading the manifesto left by Karis. So to save her, he's going to need to put himself at the risk of being caught, which, is sort of exactly the plan. And Lucian's also on the planet, and his mission is to save himself and the rebellion, and that means taking out anyone that knows his identity, and in this case, it's Bix and Andor. And the episode, at least for the most part, doesn't really focus too heavily on that, not until much later on, but I'll get to that in a moment. So Cassian's back because of Marva's funeral, and she's got a message for Cassian and the people. And yeah, seeing a massive hologram like that at a funeral would freak me out. But her speech about the Empire was one of the standout moments of this episode. It isn't as dark as Lucian's speech a few weeks ago, but when the crowd is walking toward the soldiers, you know exactly what's going to happen. And of course, it all kicks off. And all of this is so much better than the action-packed finale we got in the Book of Boba Fett, because you care about the stakes, because you care about the characters. The scene where Deirdre gets grabbed by the mob and Cyril sweeps in and saves her was absolutely fantastic. It felt like that scene where Jon Snow gets trapped by the army in the Battle of the Bastards, completely claustrophobic and terrifying. And the actress here is absolutely amazing. She doesn't get much to do in this episode, but her performance is absolutely top notch. And can we get her in the House of Dragon, please, after she's done with this show? Because I think she would be absolutely fantastic in that. And yeah, let's say it's not messy blaster fights, it's real people trying to change their homes for the better. And surely that's what the core of the rebellion is all about. But this is the thing, and the show I suppose is going to build to this in Season 2. We still don't know what the event is that joins all these rebel fractions together we've seen throughout the season so far. Is it going to be the sort of slaughter and battle here on Ferrix that's going to push Cass towards the rebellion and help the formation of the rebellion as we know it? Because he sees his home not get destroyed, but he sees people that he knows and care about get killed by the Empire, and even watches it in some scenes. And this show hasn't pulled any punches in terms of how dark it's going to be. I wouldn't say it's the most violent Star Wars show when you consider it hacks off limbs in other films and stuff, but this show, straight from the opening scenes in episode 1 when Andor just shot those two guys cold, it's letting you know that this is taking Star Wars to another level, which, if you ask me, the franchise pretty much needs at the moment. But anyway, Bix is saved and Cassian stays behind and promises to find her because there needs to be a story arc for them in Season 2. But seriously, I did think they were going to kill her. Again, it might happen in Season 2. They haven't really done much with her this season, so I hope that they do explore her more in Season 2. We've only got another 12 episodes to go, but with the writing and the pace of this show, they can still squeeze a lot in. And it's not just all about Cassian and Ferrix in this finale, we've got a lot of Mon Mothma as well. And as you'd expect, she's got a lot on her mind, and yeah, this show, talking about depth of character, has added the depths to Mon Mothma I didn't know that I wanted or needed. I honestly think that her arc in this season is maybe my favourite. All the stuff with her husband and sneaking about and trying to make alliances is real character development. And this is just a theory. I can see her framing him to take the fall. He's been gambling and, she's all about the money at the moment, and all this happens in front of the driver, who we know is an Imperial spy, so it's not the sort of attention she wants or really needs, especially with her daughter's arranged marriage going through at the same time. And of course, the driver goes straight to his boss because they've had an eye on her for a while, and he's got a few ideas on how to manipulate Mon Mothma's husband. And to be honest, that's all we sort of get with Mon Mothma in this finale. So Andor finds Lucien and he knows he wants him dead, and Cassian wants it. He's broken at this point, and you can see that Lucien is thinking about it, because what better way to keep your cover than handing over Cassian dead or alive? We know that Andor doesn't die, so yeah, it did feel a bit flat for me, but to be honest, the acting and the performances from both these guys was great, and that's what builds the show, is the still tension there, even though you know what's coming, at least for one of these guys. Lucien is a man of secrets, and I hope that in season 2 we get an episode, or at least we get flashbacks of his past, and a bit of explanation about why this guy decided to join and start the rebellion. But yeah, this is just a quick video covering some of the main points in the episode. I'm not going to go into too much detail because, like I say, I want to cover the rest of the season in full. But all in all, for me, it was a solid ending. Cassian's lost it all. We still don't know the full extent of the aftermath of the fight on Ferrix. And what is the ISB's next move going to be? If season 2 is even half this quality, then yeah, I'm in. Because Star Wars shows outside The Mandalorian haven't been great, let's be honest, but this show has kept the pace, made all the characters interesting, and showed us the Star Wars universe I think the franchise needs. And oh yeah, at the end we find out that the stuff that we're building in prison is part of the Death Star, which most fans had put that together a long while ago. But what did you think of the Andor finale and the season? Let me know in the comments below. Is it the Star Wars show that you've always dreamt of, or has it been a complete nightmare? As I said, the fans have been pretty divided on this, and the critics are loving it. For me, I wish there was a lot more sci-fi shows that had this sort of adult and dark theme, but hey ho. We've got to wait to season 2, and there's going to be lots of theories. As I say, I'm going to take apart this season in more detail with more videos. So like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss it, and if you've made it this far, thanks for watching.